Hey everybody, welcome to Fashion Friday. As you can tell by the title of this video, we're going to be talking about style evolution. I've had to film this video like 3 times because the last 2 times cut me off right here, and the thumbnail made it look like I was evolving into a nudist. So, just a tube top, not a nudist. So I want to talk to you today about style evolution. I want to talk to you about when is it appropriate to evolve your style, why we have to evolve our style, and what to look for in making a smooth transition into a different style. So I don't necessarily agree with switching your style completely, but I do think there are certain things to take into consideration when it is time to elevate to the next level. I use the Beatles as a prime example for everything, mostly because who doesn't know the Beatles? And if you're on my channel and you don't know anything about the Beatles, then what are you doing here? So let's talk. The Beatles started out, they wanted to do the whole teddy boy thing, they wanted the drain pipe trousers, they wanted the DA haircut, and they wore, whatever they could. Then they moved to Hamburg, Astrid gives them the haircut, they wear all leather, they look all cool and tough and badass, and all the girls like them. They take pills, it's awesome. Brian Epstein comes along. I consider Brian Epstein to be one of the first stylists around. I know he was like the most badass manager at the time, but he also was a stylist. He had a vision, and he took the boys from like rocker, hard ass, like don't want to bring home to meet mom, to these still kind of odd, but they're in a suit because they're nice boys. You wear suits because you are nice boys. You look great in gray. Do I ever tell you that? If you know what that movie quote is from, comment below. I'll send you a free book. So I then tell people to look from the Ed Sullivan Show into them meeting Bob Dylan in '65, into Rubber Soul, into then the Rubber Soul '66, then you have Sgt. Pepper, you've got Magical Mystery Tour, then you've got the White Album, and then you've got Abbey Road, and you've got Yellow Submarine thrown in the mix there, but you can see that there are clear periods of their life where it's still the Beatles, but they have evolved. And then we have the solo years, and McCartney has a perm, and George has a perm. What is Ringo doing? Whatever, I pretend the 80s didn't happen a lot of the times. But you can see how the Beatles have taken evolving their styles into the next thing and done it really well until the 80s came along. What can you do? So I want to talk to you today about why you have to evolve your style, how to keep the core of your being involved in your new sense of style and move forward. I'm going to kind of give you an example. My neighbor's walking by and you can see me talking to myself. I look like a crazy person. So, okay, so I'm back. Bo went ape, over our neighbors walking their other dog. So I want to use myself as an example. When I first got into fashion, I was about 16 years old, and I really was into looking like Ducky from Pretty in Pink. So I was into like menswear even at a young age. So I wore band shirts, I wore big blazers, I wore ripped jeans, and I wore Converse. And that was kind of my like uniform at school. My freshman year of high school hit, I decided I was gonna become this like hippie. I never wore shoes, like it was disgusting. And then I turned into a pinup girl for a little bit when I was chubbier and I was starting to model. And then that kind of evolved into like super mod, that girl kind of vibe, like fake eyelashes every day, full drag, teased hair. I would iron it. It was really kind of an ordeal. I still like doing that, but I have kind of grown it up. I was shopping in thrift stores. I loved the Goodwill. I lived there. I could barely afford vintage clothes in a vintage clothing store, much less designer clothes. So I worked with what I had. I also just realized the entire time that I did that big monologue, I've got my straps sticking out of here. You know, like the clear straps that you hang on your hanger? Hang up your hang-ups, hang up your straps. Anyway, like I was saying, let me just get the girls back where they belong. I evolved over time. So I took the 1960s, 1970s image that I had created for myself that I kind of became synonymous with. My early 20s were definitely spent in a lot of the vintage stores, thrift stores. I wore a ton of just crazy stuff. I still kind of like that look, but I've grown it up a bit. And the reason is A, I make more money now. B, I'm older, so there are things that I can't get away with. I don't think I would be able to pull off the stuff that I did when I was 20, now that I'm 26, almost 27. I'm still wondering when the cutoff age for hot pants is. Comment below if you have one. But I've definitely matured my style a lot. A lot of that had to do with Free People making my personal style really commercial, and I don't like doing the same stuff that everybody else does. I swear to God, my husband can vouch for this. Anytime that I see a new girl that gets bangs on social media, I'm like, I'm growing them out. Screw it. But I do have to take my personal style, which at the core of my being is like that 1960s, 1970s chick, and make it more adult and make it more, I guess, palatable for consumption. So for me, last night we went out. My hair looked a lot better last night, I promise. I wish I had photos of it. We went out last night to a concert. I wanted to have that 70s appearance, but without looking like I was wearing a costume. So I wore a black bodysuit, high-waisted black flares, and I think like a velvet jacket. It's very Bianca Jagger. It makes sense to go from super 60s flower child into, oh, she looks like she could have been at Studio 54. Same kind of vibe, but more polished and mature. Here are the reasons why you should evolve your style. 1, you've grown up. If you are still wearing the same stuff you did in high school, it's time to step your game up. If you want to wear the band shirt, wear it with a leather jacket or a blazer. Don't wear it with a hoodie. If you want to still have elements of, maybe you were a goth kid, you can still wear all black, just buy sophisticated tailored pieces. If you were kind of a weirdo like me and you want to dress like it was 1967 every day long, do kind of what I do. I'm wearing mustard yellow. I do a ton of burnt orange. I'm very colorful. I still like the elements of 60s and 70s, but I like it usually done in a more polished and sophisticated manner. I still wear vintage, but I pair it with designer or I pair it with another modern piece. I still wear pretty much predominantly flare jeans. I have a pair of skinny jeans. I don't really love them, but I'm still into it in a way that is more adult and sophisticated. Second reason why you need to evolve your style, if your body has changed. When I turned 25, my hips just went, pfft, my body went, make a baby. I'm not going to, but it did. Well, this dog, if you guys have met this dog, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's crazy. So when I turned 25, my body changed. I also have gone on a weight loss journey. When I went on the weight loss journey, my weight fluctuated. There was stuff I could pull off, stuff I couldn't pull off, and it was a big learning experience for me. So if you've gained a lot of weight, if you've lost a lot of weight, it is time to buy new clothes. You cannot still wear your clothes that you were wearing at your previous size. I had to get rid of all my size 16s. It's time for you to do the same, or vice versa. If you're a size 12 and you used to be a size 4, get rid of it. It's time to evolve that style. The other reason is, why on earth are you still dressing like the person you were 5 years ago when that's not who you are anymore? Because staying stagnant is only going to make your life crappy. If you stay stuck in a rut in your personal life, in your professional life, and that includes your personal style, you're not going to move forward. I ask myself every day, who do I want to be today? Who's the woman I want to be today? What do I want to project to the world? Is it confidence? Is it it's hot as hell in Nashville already, so I don't want to wear much? Still on brand. Is it I want to appear polished, I want to appear sophisticated, I want to appear funky, I want to appear sexy? Whatever that is, you need to think about that when you're getting dressed in the morning. And I can guarantee you that you didn't think about that when you were picking out your clothes beforehand, because you didn't have me in your life. But in all seriousness, dress for the job you want is not BS, you guys. Dress for the job you want, and you will attract what you're supposed to have into your life. You can't show up in sweatpants and expect to get a CEO position. You cannot show up in like ratty, tattered clothes and smash any glass ceilings. It's just a fact of life. I can't show up in my like crappy like polyester thrift store clothes that I wore when I was 19 and expect people to take me seriously as a stylist now. Still have elements of that though. She's still in here. So think about that. Are you showing up for the person you want to be or the person you think you should be? And if the answer is the person you think you should be, then it's time for an upgrade, as Beyonce says. I think Beyonce says that. I'm still kind of stuck in the past. Lemonade's a great record, but I'm still stuck. So I want you guys to think about it. Has your style evolved? Are you still stuck wearing the same stuff you wore 20 years ago? Is it a natural progression, or are you wanting to do a complete change? For me, the retro, I picked a decade and kind of stuck with it thing after I hit about 14. So I'm like 60s and 70s, that's my jam. I'm gonna do it in a way that is mature, sophisticated, but still cool. As opposed to, I'm gonna wear polyester all day, every day and be super flammable. And it was not a good time for me. So think about who the person you want to be is, think about who you are now, how can you evolve to make yourself that person. You can do it with clothes. I will talk to you guys next week. Until then, you wear it well. I love you so much.